In part 1 of our fire series, we traced the origins of fire. We talked about the book that started it all, the 2008 recession that fueled the movement, the bloggers, and the ideas that changed how an entire generation thinks about money and retirement. But we stopped right before the big question: can fire actually work in India? Today, we are going to answer that by doing 3 things: calculating your fire number, understanding the concept of crossover point, and finally, asking something that Indians almost never ask. Does early retirement even make sense for us? Culturally, financially, emotionally? Let's start with the fun part, your fire number. This number basically tells you how much money you need to become financially independent without depending on a salary. And don't worry, it's not some crazy financial formula. It's based on something super simple called the rule of 25 and 4%. Here's how it works. The rule of 25 says that your fire number, which is the total amount you need to retire, is 25 times your annual expenses. So basically, if you know how much you spend in a year, just multiply that by 25, and that's roughly how much you will need to build your financial freedom corpus. And the 4% part, it states that you can withdraw 4% from your retirement corpus in the first year of retirement, and then adjust that amount for inflation in subsequent years to ensure your money lasts for at least 30 years. So if your fire number is 2 crore, then 4% of that, which is 8 lakh, would be your annual income in the first year of your retirement. In the following years, adjust the withdrawal amount for inflation. For example, if inflation is 3%, you would withdraw 3% more than the previous year's amount. Pretty neat, right? But wait, does this actually work for everyone? Let's find out. Because honestly, all of us are at different stages in life. Some of us live in small towns, some in big cities, some are single, some have families. So naturally, our fire numbers will look very different. So let's deep dive into the different types of fire. First up is lean fire. This is for people who live in smaller cities, prefer home-cooked meals, and have zero EMIs chasing you around. Let's say your monthly expenses are around 40,000 rupees. That's about 4.8 lakh a year. Now, multiply that by 25 and your fire number comes to about 1.2 crore. That's it. 1.2 crore invested smartly can cover your simple, peaceful lifestyle for life. Now, the second type is called standard fire. This is the most common scenario for many of us. This is for you if you live in tier 1 or tier 2 city. You pay rent or a small home loan EMI and you take a vacation every couple of years and live a balanced lifestyle. So let's say your monthly expenses are around 80,000 rupees. That's 9.6 lakh per year. Your fire number, according to the rule, would be around 2.4 crore. With 2.4 crore invested smartly, you could easily maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Your bills are paid, you have got some leisure, and you don't have to work unless you want to. And finally, you have got fat fire. This one's for dreamers, people who live in metros, travel frequently, take care of their parents, save for their kids' education, and never compromise on healthcare or comfort. Let's say your monthly expenses come to about 1.5 lakh. That's 18 lakh a year. Multiply that by 25 and your fire number shoots up to around 4.5 crore. It's definitely higher, but it also buys you a more spacious, well-planned life, financial freedom with comfort and family security. So depending on where you are and what kind of life you dream of, your fire number could be anywhere between 1 crore and 5 crore. Sounds achievable? Maybe, but here's the truth. What really decides your future is not the number, it's the trade-off. Can you save aggressively for 15 years? Can you delay vacations, skip upgrades, watch your friends spend freely while you say no again? Some people say the freedom at the end is worth every sacrifice. Others believe no dream is worth giving up your youth for. That's the real debate. And depending on which side you fall on, fire either looks like freedom or a trap. Plus, it's a little disconnected from Indian ground reality. For starters, we don't really become independent at 18 or 21. Even in your 30s, you are still connected emotionally and financially to your family. We are planning our life and we are co-planning theirs. Take senior parents, for example. With medical inflation rising, even routine healthcare can hit hard. So it's natural to support them monetarily. Then comes kids' education. This is not just tuition, it's school fees that jump every year. It's extracurriculars, coaching, materials, and later the big one, higher education, engineering, medicine, design, overseas studies. You know exactly how the costs look. And then there's the great Indian dream or pressure rather of owning a home. For a lot of people, buying a house is a cultural checkpoint. Your brain says rent is financially smarter, but your heart and your relative keep chanting, "Apna ghar." So you take that home loan and suddenly 20-25 years of EMIs join your monthly expenses. Plus, add groceries whose prices magically increase faster than your salary. Fuel cost, lifestyle creep that comes with career growth, and inflation that's running a silent marathon in the background. All of this means that the Indian expense curve doesn't move like a calm wave. It surges, dips, spikes. Our income curve does the same. Now imagine being a 35-year-old in Bangalore, 60,000 rupees monthly expenses, 25,000 SIP. You are doing everything right on paper, but suddenly your parents need an immediate medical procedure. Your kid's school fee goes up by 15%. Your home EMI eats a bigger chunk than you planned, or maybe a rent hike shows up out of nowhere. A wedding in the family arrives like a surprise guest. And here's the tricky part. What do you do when an emergency expense comes up? A lot of people break their investments, but that's exactly what pulls your fire graph backwards. Before you write off the fire path completely, let me take you back to the book that started it all, because there's a surprising detail in there most people seem to have forgotten. When Joe Dominguez and Vicky Robin wrote the book that created fire, they did not begin with the fire number. They did not even begin with early retirement. It started with something far more flexible, far more human, and honestly, far more realistic for India. But somewhere along the way, the internet obsessed over retiring at 35, and this original idea got buried. So let me bring it back. This idea is called the crossover point. The crossover point is simple. Imagine two lines on a graph. Line 1, your income from work. Line 2, your income from investments. You work, you save, you invest, and slowly that second line rises. One day, those two lines meet. That moment is your crossover point. That moment is when you start being financially independent. There's also a hidden flaw in the FIRE movement, that the crossover point does a better job of accommodating. Traditional FIRE sees all debt as bad, unpredictable, expensive, and always working against you. But in India, strategic borrowing is often what accelerates your crossover point. Sometimes we need to borrow to move ahead, like investing in a course that doubles your salary, a laptop that lets you freelance, a relocation loan that gives you a 50% pay jump. Debt can become a lever, not a liability, if it shortens the years between today and your crossover. Let me show you how powerful this can be. If you stay on the traditional path, saving 10%, investing a little, living normally, you hit your crossover point in about 38 years. But what if you make two smart adjustments? Option 1, Cut your expenses by 50% and you reach your crossover in about 12 years. It's tough, but not impossible, especially in your 20s. Option 2. Increase your income by 30% and invest the difference, and you get there in 22 years. Not fast, but comfortable and very realistic. And option 3. Do both. 30% income growth plus 30% lifestyle control. This is where the crossover point bends time. You could hit financial independence in just 9 years. That's why the crossover point matters. It rewards flexibility, not perfection. It lets you make mistakes, take breaks, and support family. And yes, it even allows borrowing as a strategic tool. When you hit your crossover, something incredible happens. And it has nothing to do with quitting your job. You know those projects you shelved because they would not pay within 6 months? That business idea you were too scared to try. The certification you could not afford to take time off for. The creative path you loved but could not pursue because of family commitments. Crossover gives you permission to bring those back. Because once your investments cover your basic life expenses, your full-time job is no longer your lifeline. It becomes a choice. And what do Indians do with the choices? They build. They start second incomes. They experiment with businesses. They invest deeper. They plan for family security without sacrificing their own future. That's the kind of wealth that shapes the next generation. Which brings me to my final segment, the hidden fourth pillar of FIRE. An unpleasant truth that nobody in the FIRE community says out loud. FIRE is a bit selfish. What I mean is FIRE was built for an individual. Indians live as a unit. We don't just plan for ourselves, we plan for aging parents, rising medical costs, kids' future, siblings, emergencies, and sometimes even our parents' retirement while building our own. If all your money is optimized for your retirement, who will power the future of everyone who depends on you? That's why Indians need a fourth pillar the original FIRE movement never designed. Generational wealth. Wealth that outlives you. Not lifestyle wealth, legacy wealth. And somewhere between extreme frugality and early retirement, ideas like the crossover point start looking more relevant. Not as a replacement, but as a reminder that India might need its own version of financial independence. Now, the big question. Given all this, can someone in India truly retire at 40? Can someone in their 20s or 30s juggling family expectations, bills, responsibilities and EMIs actually retire by 40? That honestly depends on who you ask. Some people will say, of course you can. Others will say, no way. And the truth is, both sides have a point. Because FIRE in India is not straightforward. It's more like trying to navigate a maze where the paths keep changing every few years. So the real question is not, is FIRE possible? The real question is it possible for you with the life you actually live? That's a question only you can answer. Let's calculate your FIRE number.